Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to give you 10 action movies you should watch on 4K Ultra HD. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, in this video, I will be giving you 10 action movies that I think you should check out on 4K Ultra HD. Now, when I was coming up with the rules for this particular list, it got a little bit tricky because I really wanted to stick to action films that were done by characters that could really exist in the world. So I'm going to leave out comic book themed films, fantasy, science fiction. Those I feel also really deserve their subgenre list in a future video, so I will go ahead and tackle those later. And I even left out military or war films because once again, I think respectfully they deserve something on a separate video. So once again, action genre, really just going straight for it, real life situations, even though they could stretch the believability index, I still feel that there are plenty in this particular list that you could really enjoy, just dive into. And it kind of made me also think that, you know what, we need more pure action films coming to 4K Ultra HD, which I may do a separate video going for a most wanted list. But yeah, and as for this list, these movies, it's not a reflection on the movies themselves, just their video and audio quality, and I really think something that you can enjoy on the 4K Ultra HD format. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into my number 10. At number 10 is the Lionsgate release of The Hitman's Bodyguard. The movie stars Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, and I feel it really does a good job balancing action with a little bit of comedy. I enjoy the film, especially during the action scenes that are going to really highlight your home theater. This has Dolby Vision for the grading, and I think the picture looks really good. And while visually it's got some great action scenes, honestly, the audio is what really sets this one off. The Dolby Atmos is fantastic. Explosions, fight scenes, bullets, they're all really well done, and they give you a great overall presentation. The movie's funny, but really the action elements are really what set this one to another level, and you should definitely check this one out on 4K. At number 9 is the Sony release of Cliffhanger starring Sylvester Stallone. I always looked at Cliffhanger as sort of the tail end of that era of action heroes, such as, Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and to what we get really today as far as more or less modern action stars. But for me, I really like Cliffhanger, and I think it makes a great 4K disc. The HDR10 really does a good job giving you the picturesque settings that the movie takes place in. But the Dolby Atmos audio track, I think it really elevates things and it makes the overall soundtrack really lively, and it packs a really good punch. The 4K disc, I feel, is a very worthwhile upgrade. If you're a fan of that era of action films, definitely make this one part of your collection. For number 8, it's another Lionsgate release, and this one is going to go to The Protege. When it comes to modern action films, this one really is probably one of the most recent on this list. And I think if you are a fan of a good spy thriller with a lot of action elements, definitely check this one out. Visually, it looks absolutely beautiful on 4K. And the Dolby Atmos, it's great. The action scenes, bullets are whizzing by your head. Any kind of, one-on-one fighting, it really gives you a good, just audio experience. The movie may not be for everybody. I liked it. It was a guilty pleasure. And if you want I would say, solid 4K presentation, both visually and audio-wise, look no further than The Protege. For my number 7, check out the Universal release of Atomic Blonde, starring Charlize Theron and James McAvoy. I think it's probably one of the more visually interesting films on this list, and you get HDR and Dolby Vision, which highlights the era-specific setting, and it does a great job just pulling you right into the film visually. And of course, the DTS:X, it is fantastic. It's robust, energetic, punches land really solid. Any kind of gunfire really gives you a nice reverberation, and I think the overall action sequences are really something to be heard and seen on 4K. This movie is a great looking 4K disc. Check it out, and I highly recommend it. At number 6 is probably one of the most purest action films on this particular list, and that is Speed. When it comes to 20th Century Studios releasing 4K Ultra HDs of their films, they can be a little bit few and far between. Thanks, Disney. But for me, I think the 4K upgrade of speed is well worth the price of admission. You get that added benefit of HDR, which really gives you a nice enhancement of the overall picture. And the audio, it's DTS 5.1. It's pretty much the same audio track we've had on existing Blu-rays, but I think here it really does a good job conveying the action well. An Atmos upgrade would have been really, I feel, top tier, but I think the visual presentation is worth the upgrade. The audio track is really solid on its own, so check out Speed, and if you're an action fan, definitely put this one on your shelf. At number 5, that's going to go to Mission Impossible Fallout. Honestly, you could probably put any of the Mission Impossible films on this list, no question about it. But for me, Fallout, I think, deserves a special place. With the added benefit of the IMAX expanded aspect ratio, which I know a lot of people enjoy, you get a good HDR Dolby Vision grading, which enhances the picture very nicely. And of course, the Dolby Atmos, it's demo worthy. It has such a fantastic soundtrack, chase sequences, any kind of action moments, the helicopter sequence at the end, really put this one over the top. Visually and audio wise, this is something you should show off to your friends and have this one in your collection. For number 4, that's going to go to John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. I honestly struggled between John Wick Chapter 2 and 3 as to what I would include on this list, and really both can be interchangeable. So for Chapter 3, I think this one has such a wonderful visual presentation. It gives you very deep blacks, colors pop off the screen, and just, I think visually this is a beautiful looking disc. And of course, that Dolby Atmos, it's great. Action scenes, gunfights, all those bullets to the head really give you a nice sonic workout in your home theater. I love these kind of movies. They're modern day action films that I think really have resonated with audiences alike. And if you want the best possible version of this film, get it on 4K. At number 3, that's going to go to Bad Boys for Life. This latest entry in the Bad Boys series really is a fantastic presentation done right by Sony. Visually, this movie looks great. The HDR grading does that Miami setting with a little bit of stylized flair. It's such a good looking film. And of course, that DTSX soundtrack, that is so beautiful to listen to. Those action scenes are robust. They just shake you in your seats. And there's so many great action moments that reverberate all around you in your home theater. This is a great looking and sounding disc on 4K. Definitely do yourself a favor and check this one out soon. My number 2 pick is a bit of a major cheat, and that is going to be the Fast and Furious franchise. Love 'em or hate 'em, this 9 and counting film series really gives you an excellent 4K presentation. Visually, the HDR grading does a wonderful job highlighting the various settings and locations. The cars look beautiful, and the visual palette I feel looks really good on 4K. But of course, the showstopper here is going to be the DTSX audio tracks that are featured on most of the 4K discs from the Fast and Furious franchise. The car engines alone just will be punchy and robust, and they'll roar and rumble your seats. Action scenes, fist fights, bullets, they all really work here. This film franchise is made for 4K. Visually and audio-wise, they're top tier, and I think you should add them to your collection. Before I get to my number 1, just a couple of quick honorable mentions. Escape Plan. This throwback to an 80s, 90s era action film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, I think gives you a really good 4K disc. It has HDR and Dolby Vision for the picture, and the Dolby Atmos, I think, really adds a whole lot to the film. And The Equalizer, starring Denzel Washington. This is not your typical run and gun action film, but when the action scenes kick in, it really works here, and I think the 4K disc is worth owning. And finally, Hard Target from Kino Lorber. When it comes to a mullet-wearing Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think the 4K really gives you a good visual presentation. There's HDR and Dolby Vision, which makes the movie look really nice, and the DTS 5.1, it's very solid. All 3 of these films are really good on action and definitely worth checking out on 4K. And for my number 1 action movie you should check out on 4K Ultra HD, that's going to go to No Time to Die. Daniel Craig's last outing as James Bond really shines on 4K Ultra HD. Visually, this movie is a stunner. The Dolby Vision does a great job with the overall picture quality. Those settings look breathtaking at times, and I think visually, this is such a feast for the eyes, and it's worth owning for that alone. But of course, the Dolby Atmos, This one really just highlights all the action scenes very well. Everything sounds great. Your surround sound environment is going to get quite a workout. I am very impressed with the overall presentation. For modern day action films, look no further than No Time to Die, and that is why it is my number one. So those are 10 action movies that you should check out on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you are interested in any of these titles, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section below. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But now it's your turn. What would you put on this particular action movie list that really highlight the best possible things you could see and hear on 4K? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.